Hey, what's going on? I'm a Challenger Jungler from OCE and I'm going to review a Plat 2 Rek'sai jungle game. I hope you learn a lot and enjoy the video. Alright, so first off we see our jungler has taken attack speed quints, attack damage reds, flat armor yellows and flat resist glyphs. These runes are fine, however I recommend splitting your blues into flat MR and scaling MR glyphs, as you get more than double the value at level 18. As well as this, the enemy jungler is physical damage and you won't be ganking an orderless, so the only early game magic damage will come from mid ganks. At level 9, the scaling MR glyphs overtake the flat MR glyphs in value, so taking scaling MR here is the better choice. You can, however, take 2 to 4 flat MR glyphs so that Lux deals less damage to you pre-6. Masteries are also fine, however I would recommend taking Battle Trance over Bounty Hunter, as Rek'sai is not a burst champion, and his fights usually last longer than 5 seconds. This is because Rek'sai is a tank builder, and kills on carries are far more valuable than kills on tanks. So Rek'sai destroys Lee Sin. This matchup is easy for Rek'sai, especially with the Lee Sin nerf. This is because Rek'Sai's unburrow ability, which counters Lee Sin's ability to engage or insect a target. If Lee Sin Qs on Rek'sai, Rek'sai immediately unburrows and has the fighting advantage. Gangplank is a champion that is basically gankless. It's incredibly hard to gank for a Gangplank as he does little damage in the early game, especially pre-6. To add on to this, Nort is a tank champion with lots of CC and escapes. As such, top lane is not a lane that we'll be focusing on this game. Instead, Rek'sai needs to control the game from the bottom side of the map. In the mid lane matchup, Lux has a huge range advantage on Brand, generally allowing Lux to win this lane. However, because of Lux's AoE spells, she will most likely be pushing her lane into Brand's turret. This gives an easy opening for Rek'sai to gank the zero mobility Lux. On the flip side, this also applies to Lee. Both mids have no mobility and as such should be a focus point for Rek'sai to gank this game, as well as respond and counter ganks. Caitlyn Thresh shits on Vayne Taric. This is because Kate has a huge range advantage on Vayne and thus destroys Vayne in lane. Expect this lane to be pushed up at all times and thus be an easy gank. So, Rek'sai should be playing around the bot side of the map, looking for counter ganks mid and taking advantage of the constant pushed waves bot. So for your build, on your first back you buy Saber, on your second back you buy Cinder. Always buy Hydra before buying your jungle item, as it gives you extra kill potential and faster jungle clear. So the first mistake our summoner makes is not warding the enemy red buff before the camp spawns. It is incredibly important as it allows you to track the enemy jungler, know their pathing and predict their movement and first gank, allowing you to counter gank or simply warn your laners about an incoming gank. This should be done around the 45 seconds to 1 minute 20 mark, as a ward lasts 60 seconds. Furthermore, this allows you to know which camps are up so you can invade and take Lee's valuable XP. Remember, with the increased XP values, invading is incredibly effective and can put the enemy jungler miles behind. Also be warned, I'm going to nitpick every mistake you make. I'm not going to focus on the good things you do, but rather every small to huge fumble or misplay you make. At Gromp, Rek'sai smites and heals himself for 102 HP. However, at that level, smite heals for 133. Save your smite to fully heal, or keep it for a possible invade. If your leash is that good that you are near full HP, there is no need to smite. Another small Rek'sai tip is to save your Q when you're in burrow form when you're in the middle of the camp so that it deals damage to all the monsters. Also, you should be doing the bigger monsters first unless it is a raptor camp. Another small mistake you make is you don't kite your camps. You should be walking towards your next camp whilst doing your current camp. Keep an eye on the bar at the top of the camp to see how much you can abuse orb walking between camps. When you do raptors, you don't kite them at all, and as such your Q in unburrowed form is not hitting all the raptors. Here, you spotted someone at your golem camp and didn't realise, allowing Lee to take your golems. If you're going to do the full clear you did, you need to do all your camps before ganking. The point of the full clear is to be a level ahead of non-full clear junglers. In this situation, you should have done red, then your bot side jungle and ganked from there, as you want to control the bot side of the map. This also allows you to take Lee's camps, as Lee's do not full clear, thus leaving some of their camps up for the taking. At 3 minutes 30, you tunnel into the top side. This is extremely bad. Never tunnel randomly unless you are going between camps. Your tunnel is your most valuable ability and has the longest cooldown. Keep it for when you need it. At 3 minutes 39, you can see Lee has done Scuttle very recently. From this you can conclude that his path was red to an unknown number of camps to blue to Scuttle. Thus, Lee Sin will be topside, most likely in your jungle or attempting to gank mid or top. Since you're mid, you can conclude he will gank top or make an attempt on your jungle. Since GP is under tower and Naught is missing in action, Lee Sin must be invading your jungle. Stay in burrowed form and scout out your jungle. Here, you should be spam pinging danger to GP as you have no tunnel. You should also be alt clicking your E to communicate the cooldown. This ends up costing you a death on GP. After your first back, you see bot lane are pushed up very far. Instead of going to Scuttle, you should be going straight to bot lane to gank. At 4:20, Lee blows both summoners mid. This should mean that we'll most likely try to re-gank mid in the near future. Be mindful of this and take it into consideration when tracking his pathing. After the mid gank, Lee Sin exits through the bottom side and heads towards Raptors, so now we know where Lee Sin is. At 4 minutes 53, we see your first gank. You do a very bad tunnel here. You should be walking down the lane instead of using your E. Walk down the lane and try to knock up a target and chunk them. If they flash away, you now have both tunnel and flash to secure the kill. Furthermore, after your gank, you should have fast pushed the lane, preventing Lee's second kill of the game and preventing Dragon. Pushing the lane here will bounce the next wave off the tower, giving Vayne more CS. This also allows Vayne to freeze the wave at a tower and set up the next gank for you. For your second back, you stayed in base way too long. Buy your items and ult bot immediately. You also do a bad tunnel again. You should save your tunnel for when you need it. Walk to where the enemy is walking and intercept them without using your tunnel. Gap closers are very valuable, do not waste them. Besides that, you do a good flash on Lee and clear the wave. You made the right call to push the wave to the tower. Here we see how Vision wins games. A well-placed ward spots Lee going to gank bot, allowing Rek'sai to counter gank, resulting in a 3-for-1 for the red team. The most valuable wards are the ones placed in Lee Sin's jungle, which stop him from ganking altogether. A few seconds later, you should be taking Lee's bottom side here, or at least placing Vision inside of it, instead of going on a wild goose chase for Lux. You only burnt summoners here because Lux sucks. About 30 seconds after this, you walked past Lee's Raptors without taking them or even pressing W to check if they are up and getting the timer. You could have put Lee very far behind if you took his bottom side jungle. Taking camps is very effective in the jungle with the increase in XP rewards, and you seem to be very afraid of invading. I recommend forcing yourself to invade so you learn your limits. Furthermore, you know Lee's bottom side was up, therefore Lee will go bot side to clear it. You should be spam pinging mid lane or Lee's jungle to tell your team where Lee is. So here you see Lee is at 0 HP. Instead of pressuring his jungle and taking his farm, you let him farm his wolves and recover his HP. You should have immediately invaded his jungle, applying pressure and building the lead. Instead, you let him farm wolves and get free XP. Alright, so there were a bit more mistakes in this video, but it already hit 10 minutes, so I'm going to have to close it up. So this video took about 8 hours to make, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I'd love to hear some feedback. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and share the video with your mates. I was also thinking of doing a Learning the Jungle or Learn to Jungle series focusing on the following topics. If you guys are keen, let me know. Cheers and thanks for watching.